When Emily Carter walked into Maple Ridge High School for the first time as a freshman, she believed it was the place where dreams took shape. The school was nestled in a quiet suburban town. Clean sidewalks, trimmed lawns, kids on bicycles, the kind of place that looked perfect from the outside. Emily was raised by a single mom who worked at a local diner and a stepdad who drove trucks across the state. Money was tight, but Emily's dreams were big. She was known in middle school as the girl who always stayed after class, who helped others with homework, who filled notebooks like they were treasure chests. By sophomore year, her grades were the highest in her school. Teachers admired her, classmates respected her. And then she was called into the office of Principal Randall Hayes. Hayes was a tall man with too much power and too little conscience. He'd been principal for nearly 15 years, celebrated in the town as a disciplinarian who kept the kids in line. Parents trusted him, teachers feared him, and students whispered about him in locker rooms and hallways. Emily stepped into his office expecting praise or maybe an invitation to join an honors program. Instead, the air shifted the moment the door closed. "You're an exceptional student, Emily," he said quietly, leaning back in his chair. "And exceptional students get special opportunities." When he stood up and walked behind her, she felt chills. His hand brushed her shoulder. His breath hit the back of her neck. Emily froze. Her heart raced. Her voice shrank. "No," she whispered, stepping away. I don't want this." Principal Hayes's smile vanished, replaced by something cold and vindictive. "You'll regret this," he said. "Trust me." He kept his promise. Assignments Emily submitted disappeared. Teachers suddenly questioned her integrity. Tests she aced were marked with failing grades. Rumors spread, vicious ones that no one could trace, but everyone heard. By the end of the semester, Emily, Maple Ridge High's brightest student, was listed as failing 3 core classes. Her mom begged the school for answers. Her stepdad shouted in the office until security came, but no one helped. No one dared. Emily left Maple Ridge High broken, defeated, and suffocating under silent runes. She walked away with shame. She walked away with fear. She walked away thinking her dreams had died. But life was not done with her, not even close.
Emily spent the next few months spiraling. She barely ate. She rarely slept. She avoided friends. Her once bright spirit dimmed like a candle gasping for air. Her mother refused to let her disappear. One morning, she gathered every transcript, award, and middle school certificate Emily had ever earned and marched to the County Department of Education. She begged someone, anyone, to take a second look. A woman named Linda Harper, a program coordinator, listened, really listened. She reviewed Emily's old academic records, behavioral notes, teacher comments, all glowing. "This girl didn't suddenly become a failing student," Linda murmured. She filed a formal report, sent inquiries, requested past grade logs, and within weeks, the government state student opportunity program awarded Emily a full academic scholarship, not only to complete high school somewhere else, but to continue to college afterward. Her mother cried for joy. Her stepdad bought a cake, even though they couldn't afford it. Emily felt a spark of hope for the first time in months. She transferred to Hawthorne High, a bigger, friendlier school in a neighboring district. The teachers there actually cared. The counselors checked on her. Her new principal was fair, patient, and honest. Slowly, Emily found her voice again. She joined the debate team, made friends who encouraged her, studied harder than anyone, and topped every class she took. But Emily had changed. She was quiet, but sharper. Softer, but stronger. Gentler, but ready. A seed had grown inside her, one she didn't fully understand yet. One day, she told herself she would face the nightmare she walked away from. One day, she would stop running. One day, she would return, not as the girl he tried to break, but as the woman he never expected her to become.
Emily graduated high school with honors. She delivered the valedictorian speech, trembling but proud, her mother cheering louder than anyone in the auditorium. She began college on a pre-law track, driven by something deeper than ambition, something personal. Law classes awakened parts of her she didn't know existed. Criminal justice lit up old scars. Civil rights gave her language for everything that was stolen from her. By her sophomore year, she knew exactly what kind of lawyer she wanted to be. One who defended the silenced, the ignored, the broken, the girls who walked away in fear, the girls who never got back up, the girls like her. She studied until her eyes ached, interned at legal clinics, volunteered for victims' advocacy groups, shadowed attorneys in real courtrooms. Every case she observed added fuel to the fire burning quietly inside her. She graduated law school magna cum laude and passed the bar exam on her first try. The day she walked into the state courthouse as a licensed attorney, her mother hugged her so tight she couldn't breathe. Emily smiled. She had walked away once in tears. Now she was walking into a future shaped by fire.
Emily began her legal career working at a law firm specializing in education misconduct and abuse of authority. She read cases about teachers who crossed boundaries, principals who manipulated grades, administrators who hid their sins. And then one morning, her senior partner walked into her office with a thick file. "We've been assigned an investigation," he said. "A high school principal accused of coercion, harassment, grade manipulation, the works." Emily opened the file. Her hands stopped shaking only after the third page. Principal Randall Hayes, Maple Ridge High School. Her breath left her chest. Her heart pounded like a war drum. Her past stood in front of her on paper. Her partner asked, "Do you know him?" Emily closed the file and straightened her back. "Yes," she said quietly, "I do." "Are you okay to handle this?" She nodded, slow, steady, with the certainty of someone who had waited years for this exact moment. "I'm more than okay," she said. "I'm ready." Returning to Maple Ridge High after almost a decade felt like stepping into a haunted house that pretended to be safe. The lockers were the same faded blue, the hallway smelled of disinfectant and teenage sweat, the walls carried memories she never asked for. Teachers recognized her, some with guilt, some with surprise. Former students whispered her name. Staff members avoided eye contact. She interviewed victim after victim, girls whose stories sounded painfully familiar, different faces, same nightmare. When Emily finally met Hayes again, he didn't recognize her at first. "I'm attorney Emily Carter," she said, her voice calm as ice. "I'm leading the investigation against you." He blinked, his face drained of color, then his jaw tightened with disbelief. "You," he whispered, "you were—" "Yes," she said firmly, "and I didn't forget." His voice cracked. "You can't take me down." "I'm not here to take you down," Emily said. "I'm here to let the truth do that." The courtroom buzzed with tension the day the case went to trial. Reporters filled the benches. Former students sat in the back. Teachers from Maple Ridge shifted nervously. Hayes's lawyers tried everything: denial, intimidation, character attacks, but the evidence was overwhelming. Grade logs altered, security footage missing on specific days, teacher testimonies, victim statements, patterns too exact to deny. And Emily, calm, sharp, articulate, presented each piece like someone who had lived through the story she was telling, because she had. When she took the stand and testified about her own experience for the first time ever,
The courtroom fell silent. Her voice didn't shake. Her eyes didn't drop. She didn't cry. She spoke like a woman who had swallowed her shame and turned it into armor. As she finished her testimony, a girl in the audience whispered, "She's so brave." Another whispered, "She's speaking for all of us." The verdict came hours later. Guilty on all counts. The room erupted. Hayes collapsed into his chair. His lawyers were speechless. Reporters rushed out to deliver the breaking news. Emily didn't smile. Justice wasn't sweet. It was necessary. As the bailiffs cuffed Hayes and led him away, he spat bitterly. "You ruined my life." Emily stepped closer, eyes steady. "No," she said softly, "you ruined your own life. I just refused to stay silent." She walked out of the courthouse with her mother on one side and her law partner on the other. The sky was bright, the air was warm, the future was open. She had once walked away from Maple Ridge carrying nothing but pain, but today she walked back with fire. Fire that exposed the truth, fire that protected the innocent, fire that made her unstoppable. And that fire would burn for every girl who needed courage, every girl who needed justice, every girl who needed someone to fight. Emily Carter became that someone, not despite her past, but because of it.